In northern Iraq, they've identified their first coronavirus case in a displaced persons camp in Nineveh province. In Canada, there was a unanimous vote to suspend Parliament. All members of Parliament sent home. Canada's First Lady, the Prime Minister's wife, has tested positive for coronavirus. She's ill, she's in quarantine. Her husband, the Prime Minister, is quarantined as well, although he is reportedly not symptomatic. But as we thunder into another day of this, wondering if this was another day when American hospital capacity should have noticeably increased. As we thunder into another day of this, with Americans still being given wildly contradictory and inconsistent advice about whether and when to self-quarantine and what it means to isolate or self-quarantine and whether you should seek testing, and with more government happy talk about the availability of testing when in real life, by and large, people still can't get it, even if they seek it out aggressively and even if they have reason to. As we thunder through another day of this, I'm at the point where I want to know about the replication of this virus inside our system and where we really are on the epidemiological curve here, and what that says about how worried we should be about our hospital capacity, our intensive care beds, the safety of our doctors and nurses and healthcare workers, our ability to prevent them from being overwhelmed despite the way that we are seeing these numbers grow in the United States. I know there's been a lot of talk about vaccines. I think that's in part because the president, for a long time, while facing this, seemed to have no idea what a vaccine was. And so he frequently said things that made no sense about vaccines, and that led to news coverage about vaccines. In reality, best case scenario for a vaccine is that we're talking about a year and a half from now. Set aside the talk about what might happen with vaccines a year and a half from now. What about treatment? What about potential treatment for this, for people who've got it? Is there outside the box thinking right now that might hold the potential for a moment like we had in 1996 in Vancouver? Is there outside the box thinking right now that has the potential of turning this thing in the other direction? For making us understand this and see this in a different way? For making us see how this might conceivably veer off the course that it seems to be on now toward the worst disaster we're all now capable of imagining?